Hi, Tego Venturi with the Venturi Realty Group of Keller Williams Realty in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I've been doing these market updates here for many years. I just started doing it where I'd be looking at market data and I'm like, well, I might as well just record this, screen record this and put it out. And as I've been doing this now for many years, you start to see trends. And what I want to do this month, again, May, we're looking at May 2021 data, is try to tie some of these things together so they make sense. Because we talk about month supply of inventory, average price per square foot, list to sell price ratio. And so I want to tie some of these things together. And so what we're going to start off with is, let me close this. We're going to start off with looking at this pretty important metric, which we call month supply of inventory. This is the number of homes available, or it's a supply-demand ratio basically, and what we're looking at is the number of homes available versus the number of buyers, and we measure it in months. So month supply of inventory for May of this year, we're at 0.6 month supply. That's across all price ranges. Now understand, 0.6, so that's whatever, 20 days. And what I want to tie this to is prices. So if we look at this month supply of inventory, I'm going to change the metric here slightly. So if we look at month supply and we look at this number right here, September 2015, we were at, we kind of came through the 6 month supply. All right. And going out in when the market tanked back in 2007, we hit this 6 month supply mark somewhere in October, late 2007. So again, note those dates, late 2007 and late 2015. Now, if we look at the price per square foot, which again is a really good measurement of appreciation, depreciation. So if we look at that late 2007, look, that's when we hit 6 month supply, and guess what happened? The prices started to decline after that. Going the other direction, again, that late 2015, you can see we kind of bottomed out somewhere in 2012, and it was honestly kind of anemic price growth there for a little bit. But starting in 2015, you can see that things really started to pick up, flattened out when interest rates went up a little bit, and then we've been off to the races clearly in the last year. Just one piece of data on that. In the last year, we're looking at probably about a 13% price appreciation in our market. And that's across the board, right? That's, all price ranges, lower price points, it's higher price points, maybe not so much. So I wanted to show that correlation. There's somebody asked me the other day, it says, well, how many homes? So we hear a lot of stories. Let me set this up. We hear a lot of stories right now that home sold for $100,000 over list price, or that home had 25 offers. And of course, those stories are out there and they're absolutely true. Our market is like nothing we've ever seen before. But what I wanted to know was, okay, of the number of homes that sold, how many of them, because there's a stat out there that says 101% of is what the final sale price is. Boy, I didn't say that very well. List price to sell price ratio. So this is how much more or less a home has actually ended up closing for versus what it was listed for. In May it was 101%, but I was like, okay, well that's interesting. Okay, it's over 100%, but how many of them were over list price? And so I went into our MLS and extracted this data, and what I found is we had about 1,300 sales, and 647 of them sold for over listing price. So 50%. 18% of the homes that closed in May sold for 5% or more above what the listed price was. And you're going to go, well, okay, well, why were they listed low? Well, that's a whole conversation that we need to have with you if we represent you in listing your property, because there is some strategy there to get you the most for the money. The thing that's interesting though, and I think people need to understand, is that there were 140 of those homes that sold, of those 1,294 that had to reduce price, meaning they hit it too high at the beginning and then they had to reduce. So I just want to remind people that pricing is still always will be important. One other takeaway here today is we keep hearing the same, well, there's no homes in the market, there's nothing to sell. And I am in the way. Let me move this here. What we're looking at here are the number of homes for sale at the end of May. In our entire market, there were 536. Now this is just Metro Albuquerque, just tied in. It's not the entire MLS. To give you an idea, that's 68% less than last May, last year. However, the thing that really I think people need to understand is the number of homes that actually sold. Okay, remember, down 68% in the number of homes on the market, up 18% in the number of sales. Now, you got to take that with a caveat and remember what was happening last March, April last year when, homes that closed in May last year went pending. So, take that for what it's worth. But if we look at this number, the closed sales on an annual basis, a rolling 12-month, we've seen a 13% increase in the number of homes sold in the Albuquerque market in the last 12 months. This is by far an all-time high. So just because the number of homes available on the market is so low doesn't necessarily mean that sales are not happening. Sales are happening at a higher pace and a higher, brisker pace, if you will, than ever before. I know what I want to show you is days on market, because this is really telling of what's going on. Median days on market in Albuquerque was 3 days in May, meaning that homes go on the market and 50% of them, the median, sold within 3 days. And it just goes to show you how quickly things are happening. And so yes, homes are coming on the market, but they are selling very, very quickly. So a lot to unpack there. If you want to dig deep into market data, that's what I do. And I love to look at this, want to understand what's going on in our market and be aware of, any challenges that may be coming up for our market. Everything goes up, everything goes down. I will say this, and I'll put my my reputation on this. I don't see any downturns in the near future for our market. The demand is just way too strong and the supply is just way too low for the moment. So, and again, it's really more about the demand, and I don't see that slowing down at the moment. One last thing. Watch interest rates. Either you can watch the 10-year bond. If it goes around over 2%, that'll drive mortgage rates up. If mortgage rates go up, 4% or so, people are thinking that might be the thing that slows down the demand. But we'll have to see. There's just too many people out there that want homes, and there's just not enough of them out there. So, thanks for watching. Take care.